Hi, I'm John. At 55, I've been working a long time, but I'm concerned about job security. I've seen so many changes happening around me, and so I want to be prepared. I hope this webinar can help me overcome these challenges and build my career confidence.
Hello, I'm Sarah. I've just turned 45 and I'm trying to come back to work after 10 years away. I've been trying to find a new job and really excited to learn strategies to stay relevant and achieve a better work-life balance in this webinar.
How do we stay relevant and have a greater sense of security?
I'm really worried about this. Having been out of the workforce for many years, I'm wondering how I can get back and do something meaningful, especially at my age.
Yes, this is also troubling me. I'm worried that my company will introduce new processes or technologies, and I cannot cope.
Okay, let's revisit the issues and the things that's happening out there in the workplace, in the employment market, right? The reasons why there may be employers who feel that, hiring older workers may not benefit them. But there's also this issue about it's actually the nature of their business. Okay, how can we address this? So again, remember, what I'm trying to do here is to focus your mind on things that you can control, to address those issues that you can manage, rather than focusing on issues that you cannot influence and cannot control. Okay, so let's take a look at John. Okay, in his situation, right, he's currently employed, but he's really worried that the company may not promote him or give him more responsibilities, or the company is going to introduce new practices, new technologies and all. So what is the real problem here? If you look at all these things, what is the real problem or problems that John needs to face and address? Mindset. What else? Any others? Lack of knowledge, relevant skills. Fear. I like the word. Fear, upgrading skills. Lack of knowledge. Yeah. Okay. John doesn't have a nice portfolio. Okay. Well, John is already employed, right? So he has to address those skills, those issues that are within the company itself. Okay. So if that's the case, if you look at it, there could be all these issues, but essentially John needs to face up with these three areas. The perception by the company that he's inflexible, he may not fit in with the new technologies, or maybe even not fit in with new colleagues coming in, right? He may not have the knowledge available. He may not have the knowledge available, whether it's about the new technologies, whether it's about social media or any other areas, right? So I'm going to sort of address these three as a primary factor for John, in somebody in John's case. All right. So let's deal with the first one, which is the easiest one that most people tend to jump at very, very quickly, is this thing about the lack of knowledge. The lack of knowledge. We all know what this means, right? It basically means that, hey, we don't know something, we don't know how to do this, we don't know how to manage this, something that new that came in, we don't know what to do. All right? So how can John overcome this perception that he doesn't have suitable knowledge in any particular area? Right? Well, what can he do? Essentially, if you look at it, John needs to do a couple of things here. Number one, he needs to look at what's happening in the industry. If he's operating within a particular industry that's moving very quickly, right, then he has to really understand what the industry trends are, right? And from that understanding of industry trends, then he has to assess, okay, what skill sets he has now and what skill sets he needs current in moving forward. Okay, and he has to really make some hard decisions. Now, where can he find this information? Where can he find this information? Lots of places. These are some areas that he could look at, right? EDB about industry trends, MMM, right, about what's happening out there in the marketplace. Skills Framework is a very interesting website. Hopefully you all have gone into that before, right? Google it, Skills Framework, right, where it tells you about all the skills criteria, what needs to be, what are the requirements for certain jobs, certain positions, and what are the promotion career paths that anybody in that job can expect. My Careers Future is also an interesting source, right? Scanning job ads, you can find out, oh, this job, this industry, this company requires certain criteria, hiring criteria. There's also a feature within My Careers Future where they can help suggest to you which industries you feel you want to switch to if you're making a career switch. Give it a try. Now, apart from doing desk search, like computer, look at what's online and all that, what I always recommend my clients to do, and I'm strongly suggesting to you as well, in order to look for what's happening out there in the marketplace, talk to people. Talk to people. Okay? Go out to your network. Ask them what's happening out there. Right? Build relationships. Okay? So this is a very key thing here. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on this and how it can help you in other areas as well. Once you sort of understand what is required, obviously you have to attend training. Okay? So the purpose of attending training is to plug a skills gap. Okay? I don't want you all to feel that attending training, you just go. Once I attend training, I automatically will get better prospects. No. Training is a means to an end. It is not a magic pill where suddenly you attend this training, you get this certificate, bang, your job prospects are better. It helps, definitely, but it's a stepping stone to something else. Okay? And you need to leverage on whatever training you have achieved in order to tell somebody what you can do. And I'm going to address that in the next few slides as well. Now, before I move on, I want to sort of highlight this particular report I saw last week. And I thought it was a very, very interesting report. Here it says how AI is transforming the workplace in Singapore. Right? And really, I'm just going to give you some summaries of that article itself. Okay? New technologies, including AI, are being embraced in the workplace, right, for the time and cost-saving benefits. Okay? Over 75% of companies, a lot of companies, most companies globally plan to adopt AI in the next 5 years, with 50% expecting it to create jobs. Interesting, right? Create jobs, not cut jobs, not lose jobs. Okay? Training in AI is a top priority to employers right now. Okay? They want to harness the power and upskill their workers. AI is already transforming the workplace by saving time, improving operations, and completing tasks like data processing and customer service. Okay? And the good thing here is that in Singapore, right, we are among the highest user of AI at work. The majority of us trust and embrace the positive changes. So imagine if John doesn't embrace things like AI and the new technologies, everybody else is around him is moving ahead. He's definitely going to fall behind. Right? Now, those of you who may think, oh, I'm too old to learn anything right now. Can I learn new tricks? I'm an old dog. Can I learn new tricks? Well, let me share with you an interesting posting on social media by this guy called Sam Altman. Sam Altman is the guy, the CEO of a company that started ChatGPT, right? And he made a comment saying that, the AI systems are much better at doing tasks than jobs. That's a very significant comment, no? Jobs are made up of tasks, right? When you are in a job, you do certain tasks. And right now, AI can help you in completing those tasks in a more faster and efficient way, thereby releasing time for you to do other things. Right? So that is a very, very important part here that we need to look at. Right? So if that's the case, if you look at John again, all right, if you look at John, what are the things he needs to learn as far as non-tech AI skills are concerned? Can you think things is critical thinking? Any others? Growth mindset, empathy, problem solving. I like that one. Problem solving. All right. How to find information. Okay, very good. Right? It's a bit like research, right? Research skills. Strategic thinking. Okay. EQ, cross-functional engagement. Very good. Right? How to work with other people. How to work with other people. Well, essentially, if you look at it, a few things John can do, right? A few things John can do. He needs to hone his ability to analyze things, right? And the good news here is that someone in John's age group, right, after years and years of working in a particular area, we're probably having very good skills in trying to analyze what's happening, right? So we got to leverage on that. Relationship building, many of you have written that down. We need to sort of emphasize how we connect with people, right? We need to be able to adapt, be flexible. And I'm going to touch on this in a little while as well. How can we be more flexible? How can we be more adaptable? Curiosity. I always feel that, even though we are older, I think we need to enhance or develop a very strong sense of curiosity. We want to know what's going on out there, what we need to do. One of the biggest things that holds back a lot of older workers, right, clients that I worked with, is the notion that I'm too old already. That thing is happening there. Okay, lah, let it happen. I'm not interested in this and all that. This sort of mindset is really going to sort of constrain you from growing. So you need to have a sense of curiosity, right? This thing, bias detection, what does it mean? It basically means it's aligned to this notion of being analytical. You have to look at a piece of information and see whether the information, the people or the machine, the AI that gives you the information, is it biased in a certain way? Now, those of you who have been playing around with things like ChatGPT, Bing Chat, Google Bard, and all the different LLM models, you will realize that when you ask a particular question in any of those platforms, chances are they all give you different answers. They all give you different answers. Okay? So we have to be able to see, okay, everything is different, but let's see which one do I use, which one I feel is a little bit more accurate, is non-biased, right? So we need to be able to develop that skill set. Delegation. Instead of doing everything ourselves, can we get other people, maybe someone else who is more adept at using AI technologies, and get that person to help do the things that needs to be completed? Collaboration, again, is very similar to building relationships, working with other people, right, to achieve a common aim. Continuous learning. I cannot overemphasize this. This is a very, very important thing that we need to understand. We need to sort of go through the whole process of learning new things every day. In my age, 61, I am still continuously learning all these things about AI, how to leverage on AI to help me deliver workshops like this, to help me work with my own clients, right? We need to continuously learn and develop. Next thing, let's address this notion of inflexibility. Inflexibility. Now, whether true or not, John himself may say, no leh, I'm not inflexible, but if there is a perception by people within the company that John is inflexible, then he needs to do something about it. Okay? And what can he do? Obviously, the big word here is be proactive and be adaptable. But how can you show this? How can you show this? Okay. Volunteer for stretch assignments, seeking feedback. Very good. Any other actions that can show that you are adaptable and flexible? React fast to problem solving. Take the initiative to learn new skills. Volunteer to take up projects. Very good. All right. Trying new things. All right. Don't be afraid of new things. Offer new ideas. Accept new ideas. Accept new ideas. Be proactive in learning new skills, right? That can help you in your job. maybe accept new roles, new responsibilities, right? Take on new projects. All these are things that can help you demonstrate that you are proactive, that you are adaptable. Okay? Now let's address this other notion that people may see John as someone who doesn't fit in. Who doesn't fit in. So, what can John do? Again, same notion of being proactive but being adaptable, but different actions again. What do you guys think? Well, let me suggest a few possibilities here. One is maybe participate in company activities. One of the things I realize for older workers, my older clients, is that when they reach a certain age, they become blasé about things happening around them. Right? When a company or an organization says, oh, we have this event and all this, no need lah, go there so many years already, I don't want to go again. Okay? So, but no, re-energize yourself, re-engage yourself with what's happening in the company. Right? Align with the company values and work style. So if the company operates in a certain way, then maybe if it agrees with you and you share the same values, then you should work in that way as well, right? If the company says, oh no, we are going to have half the week work from home, the other half come into office, then maybe here, if you feel that, because a lot of my older clients, they always feel that, people work from home means out of sight. I don't know, I don't trust them. If you are managing a team that's working from home most of the time, right? Then maybe that's the environment, maybe that's the culture. So you have to accept it and maybe leverage on that as well. Okay, so that is the company values. Okay? Show commitment. Be positive. I saw somebody mention that. Be positive. Don't be criticizing all the time. Just use the word yes and. This notion, yes and. Don't use the word no but. Don't use that phrase. Use the phrase yes and, right? Be positive about the whole thing. Right? Be a team player. Okay? Here, what I mean by team player, especially for older workers like us, is that maybe you can help your younger colleagues. So somebody mentioned going for lunch with younger colleagues. No, maybe during those lunches, during those social events itself, you make it a point to sort of guide and help the younger colleagues. Right? Maybe to a certain extent being a mentor. Or if the company accept this, right, maybe be part of a mentoring system or create a mentoring system within the company. Okay? All these actions can sort of show to everybody around you that you are making an effort to fit in, to adapt, to integrate yourself within the company. Okay? So those are possibilities for you. Now, I want to bring in Sarah. So remember Sarah? Her situation here is that she's a job seeker. She's been absent from the workforce for a long time. Right? So all those things that we mentioned about John on lack of knowledge, being inflexible, doesn't fit into the culture. When Sarah is looking for a job, she also has to address all those things. And she will do this in the same way. She will do this in the same way. But the thing that she needs to show in her resume or in her dealings in the network building, the relationship building, is that she needs to be able to highlight examples of those things that we have discussed over there. So that is the key thing for Sarah. Right? That is the key thing for Sarah. Now, Sarah in her job search, because of the nature of a situation, she has to address a few other factors that maybe John in his own situation doesn't need to address. Okay? He's looking at all these three. People may think that, because she's a certain age, she may be expensive, she may be demanding, short runway, right? Physical limitation. So let's address these few. As far as Sarah is concerned. If you're an older worker, you are looking to switch careers or you're going into another job, one of the most common concerns that many employers would have is that, are you going to ask for high salary? Are you going to be very expensive? When the discussion is centered around topics like this, right? Are you going to ask for a high salary? Are you going to be very expensive? It basically means that the employer is looking at you as a cost. as a cost. We want to sort of switch this around. And think about this. Instead of positioning ourselves as a liability, as a cost, why don't we position yourself as an asset and as an asset? Okay? And what do we mean by an asset? Well, I've done many workshops on this, and one of the most effective way I found is really to look at ourselves as someone who can solve other people's problems, be a problem solver. Very briefly, if I can just run through this. In order to become a problem solver, you must first know something that's very, very important. You must know what you are good at. Right? And how do we determine what we are good at? Right? So that video on determining what your skills are, what your competencies are, and what skills you like to use. Go through the exercise. And from there, you can determine some of the skills that you're good at and what you like to do. So that is a stepping stone. That's a stepping stone to try and identify what problems you solve. So let's use the case of Sarah as an example. Okay. So in Sarah's case, let's say she has skills and experience in this area. In the past, she was an office manager. She worked in the shipping industry, right? And her activities was really starting up new operations and running the office. Okay. And Sarah would say, I did this. How did I do this? Right? I had a lot of experience in the past in setting up a new regional office. I manage all aspects of office and HR operations. And then I have very strong interpersonal skills. So typically, most people would do what Sarah is doing right now in her CV. Highlighting her skills, highlighting her accomplishments. That's great, right? That to me, right, is there's still something missing. What is this? Why don't we then add in another portion here to help illustrate what Sarah's value add is to any potential employer? And what is this? So in Sarah's case, if she has the skills and she knows what to do, then let's look at what problems Sarah can solve. She can help companies set up a new office. Right? She can help companies be more efficient in the office systems and the processes because she's been an office manager before. Right? And because she's helped put together teams, she can be very effective and very efficient in hiring and integrating new teams. Right? So just imagine if Sarah understands that those are the problems she can solve. In her search for a new employer, one of the things that she can do, and I recommend strongly that all of you should do, look at a company. What are the issues the company is facing? If you find, for example, in Sarah's case, if she finds that a company needs to be able to set up a new office in Singapore, bang, Sarah has done it. She knows what to do. She can do it. She's going to go to the company and say, I've done that before. I know all the steps and the procedures. Right? And especially if the company is in an industry that she has experience in, bang, her value goes up another few notches. Okay? Setting up office, hiring new people, she has experience in that as well. She can help solve the problems of being able to hire, integrate new teams. So I hope you see the power of understanding what problems you solve as a strong value add to potential employers. Because that overcomes any concerns about you being a liability. It now becomes you become an asset because you help them solve problems, their problems. Okay? Let's take a look at this other notion of the short runway. Now, when we think of a short runway, what is the real issue here? When a company, if that company or the hiring manager has this perception that, you have a short runway, you are already so old, what is the issue that they're thinking of? Can you type in the chat box? What is the issue that that they are thinking of if they think that you have a short runway? Somebody says waste resources, job hopping. If you retire soon, then they have to hire and train another new person. So in other words, it's really about, are you committed? Can you contribute enough to the company? Right? Those are the issues really about the short runway, right? So Sarah needs to address that as well. She needs to be very focused on saying, okay, if the company is thinking that I may not be able to contribute, I may not be committed, like somebody mentioned here, I may take this as a stepping stone to something else. We need to address those concerns. So how do we address this? How can Sarah address this? First of all, Sarah has to make sure she understands where her value add is. Okay? She has to be very succinct and say, I have the skills and experience to solve your problem. Okay? So she has to be very targeted and saying that, that company has that problem I can solve. Okay? So value impact immediately. Okay? She needs to show past examples of her commitment to her cause. Okay? For example, if she was involved in a project or in setting up an office, what did she do to pull through? Whether it's short time frame, what did she have to do in order to make things to completion? The commitment level. She has to show the examples. Okay? Be open to alternative work arrangements. This is something maybe many of you would have some concerns here, but it is a reality. It is a reality here. Okay? Sometimes as an older worker, we have to be open to say, okay, instead of looking at a full-time job, or can we consider any other forms of arrangements? Many of my clients, many of you may think so as well. You don't want contract work. Let me give you a reality check here. Most companies right now, when they hire new people, standard practice here is they put you on a 1 or 2 year contract. Okay, that is becoming the standard practice for many companies. Okay, standard practice. So if you feel that, no, I don't want a contract work, then you may be ruling yourself out of a lot of opportunities out there. Okay, now why the company has this notion of a contract, they have a lot of reasons for that. I will not dwell into this, but that is the reality now. Okay, another alternative work arrangement could be, if Sarah needs to prove herself, maybe she works on a project basis to prove herself to the company that yes, she's committed, she can do the job. And if the company thinks that, wow, okay, this is Sarah is really helping us, I'm going to put her on a full-time basis. Okay, maybe they're asking, maybe Sarah, you do a part-time stint with us first, right? With the notion here, thinking that, let's test Sarah out. Be open to this as well. Okay, so consider all angles of work arrangements. Don't be too fixated on just one format of the work style or the work arrangement. Be open. Be open. Physical limitations. Some of you mentioned in your chat as well. Physical limitations. Obviously, one of the key things we all must do, regardless of age, is to keep fit. Keep fit. Okay? Make sure we are healthy, not only for ourselves, but also for our loved ones as well. I won't preach on that. You all know this, right? But the other thing I think we need to understand here is this notion of what type of jobs can we go after. We need to understand, maybe sometimes, some jobs, because of its nature, we probably are too old for that. We have to understand that. We have to understand that and accept that. Then we have to look at different types of jobs in order to fit that we are better suited. Okay, for example, if I were to were asked to go for a sales job that has me traveling around all over the place to get sales, chances are I probably won't do it because it's going to be too physically taxing on me. Okay? It's too physically taxing on me. So I may not want to go after those type of jobs. So we have to be very realistic about this as well. And it brings me to this little next notion here of the nature of the job. the nature of the business itself. Okay, how can Sarah, someone like Sarah, address all those things to help her get the job that she wants? Well, first thing that Sarah needs to do is really look at what company is suitable for her. What company is suitable for her. And in particular, I'm going to address this notion of companies hiring older workers. Okay. Obviously, there are other ways to find companies. In other words, whether this company has the right culture, whether they pay well and all that. But I think I want to address this notion of whether this company, first of all, accepts older workers. Okay. So identifying suitable companies. So one of the fastest way to look at this is whether the company has age-friendly policies. Now, what do I mean by age-friendly policy? Sometimes there's not a direct influence. You maybe look at it in an indirect way. Okay, some examples could be they have flexible work arrangements, right? They have flexible work arrangements in terms of whether it work from home, whether it's working part-time or whatever. That is an indication, right? They may have mentorship programs. In other words, they are open to getting mature workers within the company to help the younger colleagues. Right? They have many training and development programs that also open up to not only young workers in the company, but also older workers. So they encourage people to go and learn and upskill. The other one here is really looking at what? Whether there is a culture of respect and open communication within the company, whether the company prioritizes diversity and inclusion. Now, this one may be a little bit more difficult to detect if you're only just doing a desk-bound search, right? So how can we find out about this? Best way is to go out, talk to people. Find out from your network or people that they know, hey, company A, you know anybody who's working in company A? You know, what do you think about company? You know, do they accept older workers? What type of culture they have? Okay, ask around. Go to your network, ask around. Sometimes media also gets involved, right? Sometimes this company, because they want to highlight themselves as being age-friendly, they will publicize themselves. So search the media as well and say, oh, you know, does this company have a very good practice of incorporating older workers? Okay, so go out and find. Now, there are certain job portals that are also very specific about hiring workers. They are hiring older workers. They actually advertise jobs that are open to older workers. Now, one of this example is really this one on Silver Jobs, okay, silverjobs.sg. I don't know if I want to see it. I've gone in. Now, I won't say maybe 60% of the jobs advertised there are actually non-PMAT jobs, but there is a small portion that's PMAT as well, right? So again, you know, take a look at that. There could be other resources as well, okay? So the whole idea I'm trying to get at here is really to get you to understand that while there are companies that don't accept or don't look positively towards older workers, instead of crying out about injustice and being very frustrated and complaining like, you know, why is the government not doing anything about this? Why can't we redirect our energies to looking for companies that do accept older workers? That's my message. Okay. The other thing I want to get you to focus on is really to look at what type of roles we as older workers are suitable for. Here, we need to look at what sets us apart from the younger generation. We are older worker. We have life experience. We have career experience. That is one of our major advantages. The other advantage we have here is we have experience in working and dealing with different types of people. Okay? So these are the two key areas that we need to look and say, hey, you know, as an older worker, I have the experience, whether it's life experience, whether it's industry experience, job experience, but at the same time, I also have experience in working with people. So if we were to look for jobs that combine these two, there are quite a few. Okay. Essentially, I just did a quick search online and I threw up these few job categories. There could be more. There's likely to be more. Things like jobs in the healthcare, the social services, education and training, finance planning and management, customer service. Okay. So basically, jobs or roles that allow you to leverage on your USP, your unique selling proposition. Your unique selling proposition. Okay? Your experience and your ability to interact and manage people. So we talked about staying relevant, right? And one of the things that I've been trying to emphasize here is really the fact that we need to be proactive. We need to focus on things that we can control and address the issues that are directly relevant to us. Okay? Once we know what the issues are, what the employer concern is, we need to then target and address those very, very specifically.
Wow, I think I need to be more systematic in my job hunt. I must keep myself informed of what's happening in the market and find out how best I can value add. Now it's time to reskill and upskill myself.
Yes. Staying relevant is a constant activity we all must do. Things are changing so quickly, we cannot be passive. However, it's also important that, at our age, we also pay attention to what we love to do, and how best we can continue to do this in today's world of work.
I think what John actually mentioned here is very, very pertinent. Okay? While we are looking for a job, while we're looking to manage our careers, we also need to be very conscious that because we want to continue and be fulfilled, we want to do things that we can do and we enjoy doing it as well. In order to stay relevant, my message here is that we really need to be sure that we can address the issues at hand. Whether it's addressing all these issues specifically or whether it's trying to find the right company or the right job scope or role. Okay? Leveraging on what we are good at. Hi, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you've seen and can't wait for the next one, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel in the link below. See you soon.